right, everybody. Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be talking about English speaking skills, and I am really excited to share some of these tips with you. This is going to be a great deep dive.
It is.
And I know all of you guys out there are going to really get a lot out of it.
Absolutely.
So let's just jump right into it.
Let's do it.
The source we're looking at today is called Tip of English Speaking. And, I've been looking over this. There's so much good stuff in here. No matter what your level is like, whether you're just starting out or you consider yourself pretty advanced, you're definitely going to get something out of this. There's a lot of really practical advice in here.
Totally. And, one of the things that I really appreciate about this particular source is that it doesn't just scratch the surface. I mean, it really dives deep into these different concepts and gives you actionable advice that you can actually apply to your own learning journey.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just look at the first 2 points right off the bat. It says, practice speaking regularly.
Right.
Okay, well...
That's a given.
Yeah, we know you should do that, right?
Of course.
But, HOW, how do we actually put that into practice in our daily lives?
And that's what I love about this guide, because it addresses that. It says, immerse yourself in English, and then it gives you some really specific ways that you can do that.
Yes.
It's not just like, good luck, figure it out. It's like,
exactly.
Here are some things you can actually do to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with the language.
I was looking at the part about the language exchange apps.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a cool idea. Like, I've never even really thought about that before. But imagine, if you're sitting there just scrolling on your phone anyway, you could be talking to somebody in another country who's a native English speaker.
And what's so cool about that is that it doesn't feel like work.
Exactly.
It feels like you're having a conversation. You're learning about another culture.
Yeah.
And you're getting that valuable speaking practice.
Okay, so let's move on to the next part here.
All right.
Expand your vocabulary and work on pronunciation.
Ooh, good one.
So it's not just enough to be speaking,
Right.
We have to be speaking well.
Absolutely. And I think the point about expanding your vocabulary is so important. And it's not just about memorizing lists of words, right?
Right.
It's about learning phrases and idioms that you can actually use in conversation so that you can sound more natural.
So give me an example. What's a good idiom?
Okay, so for example, instead of saying, I'm very happy, you could say, I'm over the moon.
I'm over the moon. Oh, I love that. See, that's much more interesting. It's
so much more expressive.
Yeah.
It gives your language more color.
Yes.
It makes it more engaging.
Okay, and then work on pronunciation. They mention this technique called shadowing. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah. Shadowing is fantastic. It's basically where you listen to a native speaker and you try to imitate them as closely as possible.
Right.
You're shadowing their every word.
And a British accent. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
Exactly. And it might feel a little silly at first, but it's so effective.
Yeah, but it really works.
Yeah.
Okay, so now for my favorite tip from this whole guide. Ready?
Hit me with it.
Think in English.
Ooh, that's a big one.
So I used to always translate everything in my head.
Oh, yeah. I've been there.
Oh, my gosh. It was so exhausting. It was like I was working twice as hard.
Right. It's like running a mental marathon every time you're trying to speak.
But then I started trying to think in English.
Yeah.
Game changer. It's like night and day.
And what's fascinating about that is that there's actually research
that
shows that when you think in the language you're learning, it actually changes the structure of your brain. So it's not just like, oh, this is a good tip. It's like, this is actually changing the way your brain is wired.
It's like exercise, but for your brain.
Exactly.
Okay, so the last few tips from the guide here. Record and evaluate yourself, get feedback, and of course, be consistent. What do you think about those?
Oh, they're all essential. So recording yourself is such a valuable tool because it allows you to hear yourself from an outside perspective, right? You can identify areas where you need to improve. Maybe it's your pronunciation, maybe it's your grammar.
Right.
But you can't really know unless you hear yourself.
And then get feedback.
Yes. Feedback is crucial. I mean, find a teacher, a language partner, somebody who can give you constructive criticism.
Yeah, because sometimes we don't even realize
what
we're doing wrong.
And then, of course, be consistent.
Right.
I mean, that's the key to success in anything, right?
So how do you think our listeners can apply all this?
That's a great question.
To their own lives?
Yeah.
What are some
Yeah, I think the first step is to identify one small change. That you can make today based on what we've discussed.
So if you're listening out there, I want you to think right now, What is one thing you can do differently to improve your English speaking?
And remember, it doesn't have to be a huge change. It could be something as simple as spending 5 minutes practicing your pronunciation, or maybe downloading a language exchange app.
Just that one little step can make a world of difference.
Absolutely.
And remember, guys, learning a language takes time. It takes effort, but it's so rewarding.
It is.
So just keep practicing, keep learning.
And have fun with it.
Yeah, have fun.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn and grow.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So thanks for joining us for this deep dive. I hope you guys got a lot out of it, and we'll see you next time.
See you later.
Bye.